Production and propagation of sound. Sound waves are everywhere. Every day, we hear sounds originating from various sources, like bells, birds, musical instruments, etc. Leaves rustling in the wind, humming of a bee, or a plate crashing on the floor. All make sounds. Sound is a form of energy that travels in the form of waves and produces a sensation of hearing in our ears. Let us see an activity. Take a tuning fork and set it vibrating by striking its prong on a rubber pad. Bringing it near the ear, you can hear a soft sound. Again, set the tuning fork vibrating by striking its prong on the rubber pad. And touch one of the prongs of the vibrating tuning fork with your finger. You can feel a sensation. Now, suspend a small pith ball by a thread from a support. When we touch the ball gently with the prong of a vibrating tuning fork, it can be observed that pith ball starts moving to and fro because of the vibrations of tuning fork. This activity shows that the sound is produced by the vibrating objects. We can also produce sound by plucking, scratching, rubbing, blowing, or shaking different objects. It can be seen that plucking of a wire produces sound. In the same way, when a guitar string moves to and fro, it produces a series of sound waves. When we hit a drum skin with a stick, some vibrations are generated in the membrane of the drum. It is the vibrating membrane that produces sound. Here too, the sound is produced as it was produced when a string of a guitar was stretched. When we blow into a flute, it also produces sound. Here, sound is produced by a vibrating air column. In the human beings, it is the vibration of the vocal cords that produces the sound. When a bee flies nearby, we hear a humming sound. It is due to the vibration of the wings of the bee. A source of a sound is always in a state of vibration. Most of the music is produced by the vibrating strings of various musical instruments and their vibrating air columns. In simple words, sound is vibration. Vibration means a kind of rapid to and fro motion of an object. A tuning fork is capable of vibrating if struck on a rubber pad. It is a metal object consisting of two prongs formed from a U-shaped bar of elastic metal. Most commonly, we use steel. As the prongs of the tuning forks vibrate back and forth, they begin to disturb surrounding air molecules by passing on their energy to adjacent air molecules. This makes the air vibrate. The matter or substance through which sound is transmitted is called a medium. In fact, sound requires a medium to propagate further. Sound cannot travel through vacuum. Sound moves through a medium from the point of generation to the listener. When an object vibrates, it sets the particles of the medium around it to vibrate. The particles do not travel all the way from the vibrating object to the ear. A particle of the medium in contact with the vibrating object is first displaced from its equilibrium position. Then, it exerts a force on the adjacent particle, as a result of which the adjacent particle gets displaced from its position of rest. After displacing the adjacent particle, the first particle comes back to its original position. This process continues throughout the entire medium, with each particle interacting and causing a disturbance to its nearest neighbor. The disturbance created by the source of sound travels through the medium in the form of waves. A wave is a disturbance that moves through a medium when the particles of the medium set neighboring particles into motion. The particles of the medium do not move forward themselves, but the disturbance is carried forward. This is what happens during propagation of sound in a medium. Therefore, sound waves are made of particle of the air or the particle of the medium through which they are moving. Sound waves are invisible waves, but these are similar to water waves. One can visualize the formation of sound waves just like water waves. When we drop a stone in a pond of still water, the water surface gets disturbed. The disturbance does not remain confined to one place, but propagates outward along a circle. It gives a feeling as if the water is moving outward from the point of disturbance. If we put an empty bottle on the disturbed surface, it can be seen that the bottle moves up and down but do not move away from the center of disturbance. This shows that the water does not flow outward. Rather, a moving disturbance is created. Similarly, the sound moves outward from the source without any flow of particle from one part of medium to another. This activity suggests that the disturbance moves from one point to another, and the energy also moves from one point to another along with the disturbance. In the same activity, we have also observed that a small empty bottle on the water surface moved up and down and remained where it was without any net displacement. This suggests that the energy or disturbance moves in the form of wave without any displacement of a medium. Suppose you and your friend are on the moon. Will you be able to hear any sound? No. We cannot hear any sound on the moon because there is no air. Air is the most common medium through which sound travels. Sound also travels through water, through solids such as wood, iron, and so on. A person can hear the rubbing sound of his own finger. This example shows the propagation of sound through the air. Two pieces of stone are being rubbed together under water inside a bucket. Here, the sound of the stones being rubbed is propagating through water. If we place our ear on a railway track, we can clearly hear the sound of a distant train moving on the track even from a few kilometers. This sound propagates through the solid metallic railway track. Sound produced by hammering on a metallic piece also shows the transmission of sound in solids. Sound cannot propagate without a medium. That is, it cannot travel through vacuum. To justify this, keep an alarm clock covered with an inverted bell jar. The alarm is clearly heard when it rings under normal conditions. Now, if we gradually exhaust the air out of the bell jar through a pump, a partial vacuum is created in it and the audibility of the sound decreases. This shows that the sound cannot travel through vacuum. The sound comes back if the air is pumped in again. This simply proves that sound needs a medium for its propagation. Since a sound wave is a disturbance which is transported through a medium via the mechanism of particle-to-particle interaction, therefore a sound wave is characterized as a mechanical wave. There are two types of mechanical waves: transverse waves and longitudinal waves. Both of these wave types are traveling disturbances, but they are different because of the way that they travel. A transverse wave is a wave in which particles of the medium move perpendicular to the direction of the motion of the wave. Here, a string is tied to a fixed end. When a disturbance is imparted at the free end by vibrating its end up and down, the disturbance or the wave pulse propagates through the string from left to right. But the particles of the medium get displaced upwards and downwards. Here, the particles of the medium move perpendicular to the direction that the wave pulse moves. Whereas a longitudinal wave is a wave in which particles of the medium move along the direction of the motion of the wave. Here, a slinky is tied to a fixed end and stretched out in a horizontal direction. When a disturbance is imparted at the free end by vibrating the first coil left and right, the disturbance begins to move through the slinky from left to right. But the coil moves leftwards and rightwards. Particles of air also vibrate back and forth. This back and forth motion of the particles creates regions within the medium where at one region the particles are compressed and at the other region where the particles are spread out. Longitudinal waves are always identified by the presence of such regions. In this case, the particles of the medium move along the direction of the wave pulse. It can be noticed that transverse waves involve change in the shape of the medium, whereas longitudinal waves involve change in the density or pressure of the medium. We know that the shape of liquid and gases can be easily changed. That is, if the shape of liquid or gas is changed, it does not regain its original position. Therefore, transverse wave cannot propagate in liquids and gases, but longitudinal waves can. Hence, transverse waves can propagate through solids only, whereas longitudinal waves can propagate through solids, liquids and gases. When the sound wave passes through a medium such as air, the particles of the medium move back and forth along the direction of the propagation of the sound wave. Therefore, sound waves are longitudinal waves. When a vibrating object moves forward, it pushes and compresses the air in front of it, creating a region of high pressure and high density. This region is called a compression. This compression starts to move away from the vibrating object. When the vibrating object moves backward, it creates a region of low pressure and low density. This region is called rarefaction. When the object moves back and forth rapidly, a series of compressions and rarefactions is created in the air. In this way, sound propagates in the medium. Reflection of sound. Though propagation of sound depends upon the composition of the medium, but the nature of the sound also plays an important role. Different frequencies can move more easily through certain substances than others, and some frequencies travel further than the others. For example, in a musical concert, you may well hear the thumping of bass drum before all else. In particular, sound waves are characterized by the generic properties of waves, such as wavelength, frequency, amplitude, and speed of the wave. Look at this graphical representation of a sound wave that shows how density and pressure change when the sound wave moves in the medium. The density as well as the pressure of the medium at a given time varies with the distance above and below of their respective average values. Since the compressions are the regions where the pressure as well as the density is more than their normal values, such regions are represented by the upper portion of the curve, and the peak represents the region of maximum compression. Whereas the rarefactions are the region where the pressure as well as the density is less than their normal values. Such regions are represented by the lower portion of the curve. A peak is called crest and a valley is called trough of the wave. The maximum value of the pressure or the density on either side of the normal value is called the amplitude of the wave. It can also be defined as the maximum displacement of a layer of air from its mean position when the sound waves propagate through the air. It is usually represented by letter A. SI unit of amplitude depends on the quantity in terms of which the amplitude is being described. For example, if the amplitude is described in terms of pressure, then its unit is Newton per meter square. And if it is described in terms of density, then its unit is kg per meter cube. And if it is described in terms of displacement, the unit is meter. In general, distance between two consecutive centers of crests or two consecutive centers of troughs of the wave is called the wavelength. It is the minimum distance after which the pattern of the motion repeats itself. It is usually represented by the Greek letter lambda. Since it is the measure of the distance, therefore its SI unit is meter. In case of sound waves, that is, the longitudinal waves, the wavelength can also be defined as the distance between the center of two consecutive compressions or two consecutive rarefactions. Frequency tells us how frequently a wave passes through a point. Suppose you are beating a drum. How many times you're beating the drum per unit time is called the frequency of beating the drum. We know that when sound propagates through a medium, the density of the medium varies between a maximum and a minimum value. The change in the density from a maximum to the minimum value, again to the maximum value, makes one complete wave. The number of such wave cycles crossing a given point of the medium per unit time is the frequency of the sound wave. In other words, if we can count the number of the compressions or rarefactions that are crossing the given point in 1 second, we will get the frequency of the sound wave. It is usually represented by Greek letter nu, and its unit is waves per second or cycles per second. On the other hand, the minimum time after which the pattern of the motion repeats itself is called time period of the wave. It is simply the time taken to produce one wave. So, the time period can also be defined as the time required by the wave to travel a distance equal to its wavelength. It is represented by letter T and its unit is second. Frequency of a wave is related to the time period of the wave as both are reciprocal of each other. Since the SI unit of time period is second, hence the frequency can also be measured as per second, which is also called hertz. If the time period of a wave is 5 seconds, it means it takes 5 seconds for the wave to complete one cycle. Then the frequency of 0.2 hertz. That is, the wave completes 0.2 cycles every second. In the similar way, if the frequency of a wave is 20 hertz, then the time period of the wave is 0.05 seconds. Another important characteristic of sound waves is the speed of sound, also known as sonic speed. For a wave, wave speed refers to how fast a wave travels. Since the wave is a traveling disturbance, therefore, speed with which a disturbance travels in a medium is called its wave speed, or the speed with which the compression and the rarefaction of the wave moves along. Here, it should be kept in mind that the wave frequency refers to the number of cycles crossing a point in 1 second. But wave speed refers to the distance traveled in 1 second. Mathematically, the wave speed of a wave is the distance covered by the wave in 1 second. It is represented by the letter V. The time required for covering the distance of one wavelength is the same as the time period. So, the relation for the wave speed comes out to be lambda upon t. As the frequency of a wave is reciprocal of the time period of the wave, the relation for wave speed becomes equal to the product of frequency and wavelength of the wave. SI unit of wave speed is same as of speed, that is meter per second. If a wave moves a distance of 20 meters in 5 seconds, then the speed of the wave is 4 meters per second. Sound propagates through a medium at a finite speed. In general, the speed of sound depends on some properties such as density, pressure, and temperature of the medium. It has been observed that the speed of sound decreases when we go from solid to gaseous state. In any medium, as we increase the temperature, the speed of sound also increases. For example, the speed of sound in air is 331 meters per second at 0 degrees Celsius, 344 meters per second at 22 degrees Celsius. Like light, sound also gets reflected at the surface of a liquid or solid. When a sound wave travels in a given medium, it strikes the surface of another medium and bounces back. This phenomenon is called the reflection of sound. The waves are called the incident and reflected sound waves. The sound wave that travels towards the reflecting surface is called the incident sound wave. The sound wave bouncing back from the reflecting surface is called reflected sound wave. And the point of incidence and the point of reflection are the same point on the reflecting surface. A perpendicular drawn on the point of incidence is called the normal. Similar to light wave, the angle which the incident sound wave makes with the normal is called the angle of incidence, and the angle which the reflected sound wave makes with the normal is called the angle of reflection. Sound waves also follow the same laws as in case of the light. Laws of reflection. The incident wave, the normal to the reflecting surface, and the reflected wave at the point of incidence, all the three lie in the same plane. The angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. An obstacle of large size is required for reflection of sound waves. For more clarity, let us see an activity. Let's take two identical hollow pipes of sufficiently large and equal length. Arrange them on a table near a wooden board as shown. Place an alarm clock near the open end of one of the pipes and try to hear the sound of the clock through the other pipe. For an incident sound, the corresponding reflected sound can be heard if we place our ear exactly in the direction of an angle equal to the angle of incidence. If we displace the pipe, the sound is not heard. Furthermore, if a sound-absorbing material is placed at the correct angle of reflection, again the sound is not heard as it is absorbed. Similar to the focusing of light rays with a concave mirror, sound waves can also be focused by concave surfaces. Let's arrange two concave surfaces opposite to each other. If a source of sound is placed at one focus, the sound produced by the source can clearly be heard by a listener only if he is at the other focus. Phenomenon of reflection of sound is used in many devices like megaphones, soundboards, hearing aids, and stethoscopes. Megaphone. Megaphone is a horn-shaped tube. The sound waves are prevented from spreading out by successive reflections and are confined to the air within the tube. Hearing aid is commonly used by the people who are hard of hearing. Sound waves received by the hearing aid are reflected into a narrower area leading to the ear, by virtue of which the hearing capacity of the person is enhanced. Soundboards. Soundboards are curved surfaces that can reflect sound waves. This reflection of sound waves is used in auditorium that makes the sound to reach every corner of the room. Reflection of sound waves is done by using soundboards by locating the speaker at the focus of the soundboard. Stethoscope. Stethoscope is used by the doctors to listen the sounds produced within the patient's body, mainly by the heart or lungs. The sound produced by the heart reaches to the doctor's ear after multiple reflections within the tube of the stethoscope. The rolling of thunder is also due to successive reflections of the sound from a number of reflecting surfaces such as the clouds and the land. Sound reflection is also seen as echoes. If a sound is made to reflect from a surface, it is heard back as a second sound, which is an exact replica of the first. This second sound is termed as an echo. Our ears cannot distinguish sounds heard within a gap of
Hello?
1/10 of a second. To hear a distinct echo, the time interval between original
Hello?
sound and the reflected one must be at
Hello?
least 0.1 second. If we take the speed of sound in
Hello?
air to be 344 meter per second at a normal temperature,
Hello?
the sound must go to the obstacle and reach back to the ear of the listener on reflection after 0.1 second. Hence, the total distance covered by the sound from the point of generation to the reflecting surface and back should be at least 34.4 meters. Thus, for hearing distinct echoes, the minimum distance of the obstacle from the source of sound must be half of this distance, that is 17.2 meters. Though echoes may be heard more than once due to successive or multiple reflections. Similar to the echo, there is one more phenomena, which is also due to reflection of a sound called reverberation. A reverberation is perceived when the reflected sound wave
Hello?
reaches to our ears in less than 0.1 second after the original sound wave. Since within this time gap, the original sound wave still retains in our memory, so there is no time delay between the perception of the reflected sound wave and the original sound wave. The two sound waves tend to combine as a very prolonged sound wave. In a concert hall, sound produced at the stage arrives to the listener through different paths. Thereby, they take different time to reach the listener. If the waves of the same sound arrive after a distinct interval, it becomes disturbing as it mixes with the second sound. That is why certain sound-absorbing materials like compressed fiberboard or rough plasters are used in the ceiling and walls of the hall judiciously to avoid unwanted reflection of the sound.